Welcome to Celebrating Everyday People, where we recognize those amazing people doing amazing work out there. My co host is Malcolm Berman, and my name is Yana Larson. You can find us on malcolmpresents.com and on Malcolm's YouTube. We also have a Facebook page, and we're on Buzzsprout and all major directories and beyond as we enhance our online presence. Today, our guest is Cheryl Johncox. With a deep commitment to the earth, equity, and a regenerative future, Cheryl Johncox brings over 15 years of experience in trust-based relationship building, grassroots fundraising, and collaborative leadership development. Cheryl's work is rooted in advancing community-centered solutions to address systemic global challenges, fostering restorative economic, social, and political change, and striving to end institutionalized racism. Through her leadership, she helps build a more just and sustainable world. She has been very involved in the environmental and political health and well-being in Ohio, and we are lucky to have her here today to talk about what she's doing. Hopefully, she can suggest how we can help her as well. Please welcome Cheryl Johncox of People Over Petro Coalition.
Thanks so much, Jana. It's wonderful to be here with you today.
Well, we're glad to have you because you're very busy. And
Yes.
it's been a bit of a struggle to find a time to get you in, but I'm glad we did. And so take it away.
Sure. So I'm the regional coordinator of the People Over Petro Coalition, and it is a coalition in the truest sense. We have 60 frontline, fence line communities and nonprofit organizations that are our members. And we work to put our community's health and safety and welfare before petrochemical profits. We work in 3 states, Ohio, West Virginia, and Pennsylvania. And this coalition was really formed out of necessity. There's a lot of legacy pollution and there's a lot of extraction that happens in our 3 states. And the cleanup doesn't always follow it. And as a matter of fact, very infrequently does it follow it. And, folks' health, their well-being, their ability to care for their families and raise healthy children is very often compromised. So we work to support folks that are on the fence line on the edge, dealing with petrochemical and oil and gas development in their backyards on a regular basis. And we really do our work by building relationships. We understand that relationships are the key to all the things that we do. Without trust, we can't work together. Without trust, we can't help folks in our communities. Without trust, we can't meet each other where we are on any given day. And there are good days and bad days, and we try to support our members and their staff and the communities, no matter what's happening on the ground at that time. So we, do a couple of different things. We do direct support services for, really small community groups. We will help them, write grants, try to get resources. We will give them, direct donations of resources. We're always super happy to help strategize and find pressure points when they're trying to protect their community members. And then we convene a lot of spaces. We have right now we have 4 working groups. And our members participate in those working groups, and that's mainly how we get things done. We have a steering committee that is made up of equal representation from organizations in West Virginia, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. And this year we're super lucky to have 3 individuals from each state that guide the work we do. And, if it's a coalition in the truest sense. If our communities don't ask us to do the work, we don't do it. A lot of times, um, organizations, we'll chase money. We're not the organization that chases money or projects. If our members come to us and say, this is important, we need this, then we try to turn over every rock to make that happen. So that's a little bit about what we do. We are currently working on a couple of really specific areas. And when we talk about petrochemicals, we're talking about everything from the wellhead where they're mining for or drilling for oil and gas, all the way to the end of a product's life, a life cycle. Um, so we're working a lot on plastic right now because it's such a huge, huge global problem.
Now you're organizing local groups or helping local groups. Now, who do the local groups protest against? Because a lot of what you're talking about is really federally, controlled, especially now that we have in the White House, everyone, they're doing away with the EPA. I had a show on that
Mm-hmm.
yesterday. And
Well, we really are trying to arm the community with resources and information, and then help them look for strategic pressure points, is what the work we do. So right now we're helping an organization in Akron work on developing food forests for their community because of climate change. We are also developing some chemical disaster guidance that is disability centered, because very often when there's a chemical disaster, like East Palestine that happened in Ohio just 3 years ago in February, the disabled community are the most likely not to be able to return home. And so we're working on some guidance for that we get out into plan for disasters, and we plan with a disability centered focus. We include everybody. We're going to get the elderly, we're going to get children, black, brown, we're going to get everybody if we do that and do it on a disability centered focus. So we do that work. We also help communities that are trying to, as you mentioned, fight some, toxic, polluting industry in their community. Um, and, we have been spending a lot of time on thinking about what are our solutions if the regulatory agencies are, defunded, if they go away, if those rules go away, which a lot of them are. I don't think it just doesn't change the work that we do. It doesn't change the way communities support each other, to push back against these facilities. Because it's really neighbor to neighbor. Like I was talking about that relationship. That's what we do, is we help bring folks together to create relationships so that those folks can, really have power with their neighbors, right? The power with their neighbors in order to put that pressure, the power of that pressure on local, either, local elected officials, state, national, and it can also be a company, right? It can also be shareholders. There are a lot of different pressure points, but I don't think that even the gutting of the Environmental Protection Agency doesn't change our work, right? That is the work. And that's the only thing that prepares us for whatever the future brings, is those connections. It's not digital, I mean, it's the neighbor conversation with the neighbor that really makes our future survivable. Is that when we
Why
help each other.
is there any state that is easier to work with? I mean, are they all about the same? Pennsylvania's
Well,
fairly progressive, isn't it?
it's all about the same when it comes to big oil and gas. I mean, we're talking about
Yeah.
the biggest companies in the world with a
Mhm.
lot of money to throw around, right? And so it doesn't matter what political color
Yeah,
you
it's where the
wear.
oil is. Yeah.
Yeah, it
Oil.
doesn't matter what political color you wear. And so they have
Yeah.
the industry has their hands in everybody's bucket. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter what political color you wear.
And that's been
And
forever, right?
it's been forever. Well, it's been 100 years. It's been 100
Yeah.
years. So, and we have West Virginia and Pennsylvania are both the birthplace of oil and gas. They're the birthplace of petrochemicals. They're the birthplace of plastic. This is a rubber industry here.
Yeah. Hmm.
All of these things. So we have these legacies here that but we also have like unbelievably great communities they've had to struggle a lot, but you know what? Those struggles help us identify solutions. They really do. So we have a bunch of innovative folks that are coming up with innovative solutions on how we can do things differently in the future. So
Student-wise, like universities, are you able to get a lot of support, like from young people? I always think of young people having
yeah.
the idealistic energy to want to, go into those fields that can be
Yeah.
innovative, and that's, that's my hope, because otherwise you can get locked on the doom, and
There's a whole bunch of young folks in our movement. They
yeah,
just bring incredible like energy, ideas, creativity. They are, you know, so much. They're not paid employees. They're
right,
they're just volunteering their time. It's something that
yeah,
they care very deeply about. And what we do is we don't get individual people as members, right? So that's not we're a little different than a lot of nonprofit organizations. So we don't get individual people. If somebody comes to us as an individual, we're going to say, this is your local group. Here's who you can connect with in
right.
order to get active, speak truth to power, get start
You're
forming,
like a hub
some
then.
ideas. That's
Oh,
exactly what we are. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
power to the
Yeah.
people. But how politically active are you? Urging local politicians to get involved? Because from what I see, and I've done many shows on this with this and another sh show that I have many shades of green, which
Mhm.
where, in fact, the woman, I forget her name. My memory is going as I'm getting older. But she's at the head of a group of scientists that are
Mm,
petitioning
Oh,
the government.
yeah.
Julie, and you'll
that's
you'll
all
have
right.
you'll have to see our show, a hero show actually.
We
Yeah.
do a lot of education of elected officials. That's something that we're always working on is providing resources. And I mean, like, that's the beautiful thing about this work when you're building relationships is you're just connected to so many people and so many like people that are experts in their own right. And like people are experts in their own community, right? Like they
Mhm.
know who you have to get to in order to get things done in their community, right?
Who are the
So,
workers and who are
Yeah, that's
the
mhm,
me.
that's right.
sponsors?
I'm
Yeah. And
thinking.
so we just put materials together to help educate those folks. We help get yard signs out. We can help get billboards out. We help pay for postage. We do a lot of that type of thing. We fill the gaps, we plug the holes. We, make our run a little bit, our organizations run a little bit more smoothly. If they are in need of something that they think is really going to be helpful for the community. Like we just did this series of billboards. Here's an example. We did this series of billboards in Bell, West Virginia, where they're burning where they want to build a plastic incinerator, and the design was done by another organization. They did all the language testing to see what message was going to work. They designed the billboard, and then we put it up. And we took donations from our members to keep that up. We've had that billboard up, I think, for almost a year now. So a bunch of people just pitched in little bits of money, and we make it happen. That's kind of what we do. And they need a website. We've got some folks on that. I mean, it's kind of the thing that we
Right, but
do.
but
Yeah, the young people know how to do that.
Oh
yeah,
my gosh, I know, like slippity split.
Yeah, well, we've been talking about in some of the shows, which I call it's the Aaron Brockovich type of thing. It's follow the
Mm,
money. Who is making money, and
yeah.
if they're causing harm in the public or in certain cities or towns, they have to
Mhm.
if you sue them,
Yeah.
and that's basically they'll do as far as I become a cynic. Big companies, corporations are going to do anything they can get away with, whether it
But
pollutes us, whether it
Who else is like that?
whether
Hmm.
can I tell you a high note? I'm going to give you a
yeah,
high note. I was going to say this, but I've been involved. I've been politically involved, like outside of work, right? Because we're a nonprofit organization, we don't do politics. But I've been politically involved for over 20 years, and I've never in my life seen a response like I have to data centers in community. I live in a little tiny town of 2,500 people, and there are meetings happening in my community to oppose data centers. I've never seen a grassroots movement like this. It's a very easy to connect these data centers to billionaires because, like, we're getting nothing out of them. Like they're getting tax breaks, they're getting this, they're getting that. Like we get
Meanwhile, it's
nothing.
poisoning your water and
It's poisoning your
your
water. It's making your electric bill go up. It's going to put such a stress on our grid that we already have electric companies like lobbying our public utilities commissions for less reliability in their energy supply. So I've never seen anything like this before in my life. It is so exciting. As a matter of
That's a
fact,
hot topic.
I think that they're going to pass a moratorium statewide in the state of Ohio. Now, we're not working on this project like other people are, but there are petitions everywhere I go. There are petitions at the grocery store. There's petitions at the county fair. They're everywhere. So I really think that there are a lot of people who have had enough. They're just like done. And they're seeing the writing on the wall. They know we're being sold um, you know, uh, a fake bill of goods.
your bill of
And
goods. It's
so it's really exciting time to actually be doing
well,
this work. It's a
actually,
challenging time.
actually now you're in the forefront of this with AI, which basically takes all the electrical power. I mean, it's a huge
Mhm.
amount that's taken
I just
away
did,
Staggering.
from us.
I
It's
just took a
scary.
course through the UN. It's about SDGs,
Hmm.
and I had to write this paper. And in this paper, um, it was very interesting. It was about in impoverished, countries that are underdeveloped, but very very much suffering from everything. What U.S. has done regarding USAID, blah blah blah. But the AI is the fourth. Well, there's the industrial revolution and blah blah blah. It's the AI now, and what that is doing to the whole world
Yeah.
economy, and who will get ahead and who will fall behind.
I'm
And
really close to Columbus, Ohio, and we have 200 already. And
oh,
so, yeah, um, it is literally happening everywhere.
Yeah,
And I did hear some really great statistics yesterday that said national polling shows that 75% of Americans are opposed to data centers and artificial
yeah,
intelligence.
that's.
I think it's really encouraging. I think,
Hate to interrupt you, Cheryl, but we're running at the end of we're running out of our time.
uh-huh.
oh
Where
God,
how
we
do
just
number
started.
one number one, how do people get a hold of you, and how can they support you?
Yeah.
So, so you can go to peopleoverpetro.org. That's our website. You can sign up for our newsletter, but you can't become a member because our members are only community groups or nonprofit organizations. You can see what we're working on, our commitment to workers, our commitment to community, our commitment to justice. Um, and you sign up for our newsletter. You can also send me an email. It's Cheryl with a C at peopleoverpetro.org. If you're interested in getting connected with an organization in your community, I'd be happy to pass your information on to them if you want to send me an email. Um, we work all the way from the border with Michigan to the border of Virginia, to the Atlantic coast. So chances are we're going to have an organization in your area, and be happy to connect you. We don't take donations from individuals. We are grant funded, or solely grant funded organization, and we also get small grants from other nonprofit organizations for the work that we do.
Wow, that's great, because a lot of nonprofit organizations struggle to get grants.
You
So
won't get a bunch of emails from me saying,
Mhm.
give me money, give me money. Never.
Mhm.
well, are you a
It'll
grant
just
maker
be
then?
take action, take action, take action is what it'll be.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. I write a bunch of grants. It's something I've gotten good at. And I think it's a really valuable skill,
Oh, yeah,
for people, is to learn how to write grants. Yeah.
very
Well,
much
Cheryl,
so.
I don't envy you your job. I
It's,
mean,
yeah, I'm busy. I'm
it's
trying to duplicate myself. I'm trying to hire another
Yes.
person. So I'm
So
trying to
we
duplicate
need
myself.
we need
no,
several clones.
I mean,
But on
you
the
definitely
Duo
have
meter,
strong shoulders because it's
yeah,
a
carrying the
huge
building forward.
task.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you
On
but,
the
It's
but
Duo
great.
meter, where
but
are
you're
we
taking
at?
it
Are
with a
we
great
at least
attitude.
holding our own, or in this struggle, this path,
Yeah.
this
I would say we're definitely holding more than our own. It's a uphill every day, but like one of the most beautiful things to come out of this poly crisis that we're in is the community of care. And that's one of the big things that we're working on, is caring for each other, because this is not a sprint. This is a long, slow race. And we're only going to make it through to the other side if we're supporting and caring for each other. So we do a lot of work
Well,
to
if
make
there's
sure
anything that
that
we
folks
could
are
help you
caring for
with,
each other.
if there's anything we could help you with, please let us know as far as communication goes.
All right.
yes,
Thank you. I
That's our
we're
job.
appreciate it.
Anyway,
we're
we
here
have to
to
leave
help, and
now.
I know I'm getting the hook
Yeah, Yana,
to wrap the show
wrap
up.
it up.
Jesse.
Thank
All
you
right.
again, Cheryl.
All right.
Yeah.
We hope you have enjoyed our show. If you have any questions or comments, please send us a message at malcolmpresents@gmail.com. Remember, you can find us at malcolmpresents.com and on YouTube, and Celebrating Everyday People on Facebook and Buzzsprout. Goodbye.
Bye, Cheryl.